Hello internet, thank you so much for bearing with me this morning as I made a promise to make a Reddit video on my stream and I had to keep it this time. Even if I started at 5 a.m. and finished at like 7 a.m., I don't even remember anymore. I was just worried that the subreddit would have gotten shut down or the post deleted or something along those lines. And I know it's kind of a meme on the channel where I say I will upload another video or do a double upload and just don't. And I do really apologize. I actually do start to work on the video and then I either get burnt out because I'm not finding good enough content or get demoralized by constantly saying how close-minded and unhappy these people are all the time. It really does do a toll on your mental health. I always do try to keep the videos positive because at the end of the day, I like making people laugh and investigating why people think the way they do, instead of trying to tell them how to think. I just like giving my own thoughts. But anyway, I actually wanted to dive a little deeper into the post we're going to do today so I can educate you about the tactics these, quote, journalists like to deploy. As they omit so much context to these situations, it's practically lying. Even if there's some things I agree with them from a moral standpoint, they look absolutely evil at worst and absolutely retarded at best. So without further ado, let's get right to the posts. Alright guys, so this first example is a literally perfect case of how journalists will lie and omit information to push a narrative. So the first thing we have is the picture, where this person is basically in their best light. They have all the makeup, they're smiling, the filter, everything, to make them look as harmless as possible. And then when they describe this person, they'll only describe them as a Milwaukee mother. And if we finish reading it, deported to Laos, a country she's never been to, which by the way is also a complete lie, even if the context behind it is a little different. I'll show you guys what I mean, where she doesn't know anyone and doesn't speak the language. So this is the actual article title, and let's click on the article. So if we read it, it says, an Hmong American woman who is a mother of 5, again another tactic, has been deported from Milwaukee area to Laos, a country she has never set foot in, according to a new report. Ma Yang, 37, is being held in rooming house in Laos, surrounded by military guards, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports. She does not speak the language, knows no one, and says military is holding all of her documents. The United States sent me back to die. So literally going directly against what the article said, where she says a country she's never been to. So why would she say they're sending me back? You can only go back to somewhere that you've already been. I don't even know where to go. I don't even know what to do. Keep in mind, she could be just entirely lying. You'll see a little later that they omitted so much information that not only does it make this story useless, but it completely invalidates any type of journalistic integrity that whoever wrote it has. Katie Hawkinson in Washington, D.C. The 37-year-old is also without insulin and her diabetes and is running out of her medication for high blood pressure. Yang was born in Thailand and was a legal permanent resident until she pleaded guilty to marijuana-related charges and served more than 2 years in prison. And I like how they don't specify what her actual legal status is, like green card or whatever. She took a plea deal after her attorney incorrectly stated it wouldn't affect her legal permanent residency, which was later revoked. I made a mistake and I know it was wrong, she told the outlet, but I served the time for it already. And to be honest, it does seem like the lawyer was kind of a massive L and actually an op to her case. But let's go see what these crimes were actually. Attorney General Barr explained that since Operation Legends launch in July of 2020, more than 3,500 arrests, including approximately 200 for homicide, have been made. More than 1,000 firearms have been seized and nearly 19 kilos of heroin, more than 11 kilos of fentanyl, enough to deliver more than 5 million fatal doses, more than 94 kilos of methamphetamine, nearly 14 kilos of cocaine, and more than 6.5 million in drug proceeds have been seized. Of the more than 3,500 individuals arrested, approximately 815 have been charged with federal offenses. More than 440 of those defendants have been charged with firearms offenses, while more than 300 have been charged with drug-related crimes. In Milwaukee, 47 defendants have been charged with federal crimes as part of Operation Legend. And obviously, if you guys haven't gathered, this is organized crime. This is like cartel shit, alright? Several other Mexican posse gang members have also been charged and arrested. And as you guys know, she is from Milwaukee, but it says she is 32 in here. Oh wait, that actually makes sense, so she served 5 years for it. All the defendants are charged in a conspiracy to distribute at least 5 kilograms of cocaine or 1,000 kilograms of marijuana. If convicted, the defendants will face a mandatory of 10 years in prison, up to life. So yeah, she was literally a part of a massive scale gang operation. It wasn't just a little drugs here and a little drugs there, you know, smoking your own weed in your own house. This was like mass distribution of firearms and fentanyl. But guys, she is just a Milwaukee mother. Give me a fucking break, dude. 46,000 upvotes. If you don't want to face the consequences, don't do the crime. Unless you're Donald Trump, Steve Bannon, the Proud Boys douche, Roger Stone, Pete Navarro, white online drug dealer, general insurrectionist, Romanian child sex traffickers, Andrew Tate, like the Tate brothers. Who are we kidding? This is completely arbitrary. And you know what? They have a point. A lot of the times, these crimes are arbitrary for who gets caught. But guess what? It happens to both sides constantly. And unfortunately, one of the necessary evils of having a high-functioning society is that there's going to be a lot of corruption. Maybe not gang-affiliated government control like in Mexico, but there will always be a number of people who don't deserve it who get locked up, and people who do deserve it that don't get locked up. You know the risk, and unfortunately, it doesn't matter if you think if it's right or wrong. If society is going to act a certain way, you have to, adapt to that. But sorry for my yapping, there's insane comments we have to get to. Left out Elon Musk. You must call him out by name. He lit up a fatty on Joe Rogan's podcast and smoked it out openly. He's not a citizen by birth either, so fucking deport his ass based on that alone. So we have a dude who smoked weed on a podcast and someone who literally distributed drugs for a cartel. I want you guys to tell me which one deserves to be deported more. And like I said, I have no problem with people who do smoke weed. But fentanyl and arms trafficking are just two completely different things. He is actually here illegally, came on a student visa, didn't go to school, and stayed after it expired. So this is not actually completely true. He didn't stay after it expired. In fact, he transitioned to a work visa here. But it is true that he did come on a student visa and then dropped out of the student program by working on other stuff. But I don't know all the details. I'm sure there is a legal gray area there, and he probably did do it quote-unquote illegally. But I mean, so many people do this, and there should be legal consequences, but at the end of the day, it's not like he was distributing drugs for a fucking gang. Again, these are just two wildly different scenarios. If he weren't rich, he'd be on a plane to El Salvador. With any luck, he'll piss Dementia Donnie. Where was Dementia Biden, bro? Off enough to get put on one anyway. Ask Melania. Again, these people just don't know the facts about the situation. Melania already had an H-1B visitor's visa at the time. And yes, although she did work a month before the H-1B work visa actually got approved, it was basically already guaranteed that it was. Realistically, she was probably just waiting for approval. This is wildly different than crossing the border illegally and working under the table. If it wasn't Melania, these people would be completely okay with it. And I agree, you should follow the terms of the visa that you came here for. But this is just apples to oranges, you know? She was guilty of the crime of being browner. Yes, I'm sure people read the federal documents we just read to come to this conclusion. Anti-immigrant and anti-pot, we are so back to 1930s America. Like I said, if this was true, I would be all in favor of it. But she literally was a part of a criminal operation that was clearly large scale if they're distributing kilos of drugs. There's some rules to immigration that you have to be aware of, and distributing drugs is certainly one of those things that will immediately fuck you. Meanwhile, Elon's openly high off ketamine all the time, but gets to run the government. And again, this is just a baseless accusation from a Don Lemon interview where Elon Musk describes his severe depression and his doctor prescribing him ketamine to deal with it. Which, yes, is an actual thing, by the way. What happened to trust the science? Isn't it funny how the pro-mental health people will completely 180 on this, only when it favors them? She was part of a coordinated criminal marijuana and other illicit drug distribution scheme where she helped with money laundering. It's not like she was caught with the joint. Oh my god, dude, someone actually pointed it out. Well, that's an awful big chunk of important context the article decided not to provide. True! I think you answered the question, why are legitimate cases being buried and ridiculous shit being pushed to the front? Well, I think we all know why. They don't care if she survives or not. The cruelty is the point. Christian charity at its best. Yeah, guys, the firearms, cocaine, and fentanyl were definitely going to best serve the community, you know. You would think as a mother she would realize how destructive those things are to, you know, families. These people just forget that drug addictions can destroy lives, especially the hard fucking drugs. But anyway, let's move on because I think we've been on that article for a while. Republicans push to make Trump derangement syndrome a mental illness. 31,000 upvotes. 5 Republican Minnesota state senators are set to introduce a bill tomorrow that would classify TDS, which they define as an acute onset of paranoia, regarding the presidencies of Donald Trump as a mental illness according to state documents. Oh my god, dude. Look guys, from an entertainment standpoint, this is like S-tier content. When shit like this releases, it is a good fucking day. But from a serious standpoint, this shit is absolutely retarded. This is what people mean when they say that Republicans just do stuff to own the libs. Because as funny as it is, this doesn't do anything. This doesn't accomplish anything. Why are we paying these people to come up with these bullshit bills? If I was in Minnesota, I would be pissed if I voted Republican. But yeah, dumb bills like this get introduced all the time and then go nowhere from both sides. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, but come on. Let's have a little bit higher standards, alright? But let's see how Redditors are crashing out about it. Legislating something to be a mental illness is mentally ill. That's not how medical science works. Neither is a child becoming trans before they can speak, but you know, fuck it. What do you mean? All of a sudden, they are the party of science because there's only 2 genders, penis and vagina, sperm and egg, baby supply and baby producer. Who cares what the actual scientists are saying, right? They've got this. Yeah, those completely deranged sociologists that if you push back on any of their ideas at all, they will destroy any future career you have in academia. Those actual scientists. RFK wants to send mentally ill people to work camps. If you saying opposing Trump is a mental illness, you can send anyone you want to the camps. Cut and dry evil. Did he actually say this? What the fuck? Okay, so this person misrepresented what RFK said so drastically that I just had no idea what the fuck they were talking about. The closest thing that I found is he proposed these wellness farms as a voluntary, by the way, rehabilitation option for people who have like drug addictions and were mentally ill because of them. Isn't it crazy how drastically they'll lie just to like push a narrative? Yep, over the past 8 years, we've seen people praying for Trump for help, people holding Trump-themed weddings, people throwing Trump-themed birthday parties, people throwing birthday parties for Trump featuring a cardboard cutout of the man, and even singing happy birthday to it. MTG sexually assaulting a cardboard cutout of Trump, people covering their entire cars and houses with Trump merchandise, people trying to get a Trump tattoo of their child. Sorry, on their child, what the fuck? People carving Trump into the skin of an innocent animal, physical Trump store retail locations founded and operated entirely by his supporters to sell nothing but Trump merchandise, but thinking Trump and his devout are objectively terrible people, that's mental illness. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I have not seen anybody do any of this personally. Maybe in some interviews for like this one. And I'm not saying these haven't happened once, but do these people actually think that this is like a majority of the people who voted for Trump? Yes, there are insane people out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if these, you know, were actually true at some point. Like just crazy shit you see on social media or whatever. But this is terminally online, dude. Nobody thinks about Trump more than these people. And we know that this is true because we can see it every fucking day. There's just so much political brain rot on Reddit. They can't imagine the opposition having morals because they themselves don't. So instead of trying to better themselves, they paint a false reality where the opposition is even more amoral than they are. I wonder where I've seen this occur. And I really wanted to look at this today before we go. So I typed in astronauts to see if they covered any of these stories. And of course, they basically didn't. Oh, that's great. If I limit it to the past week, there's literally 0 stories on it. I wonder why. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Remember that if you donate in any way, I will say your name at the end of every video. Now on to the patrons. Thank you to our base gods, XX Schisms XX, your local Inquisitor, Triple X Medic, Cheese Stick Fanatic, Bennett S, Kada, Highware 5, and Warrior for Life V2. And thank you to our base legends, Yoru Emiya, Mr. Praria, Andrew P, GOL1912, Ayatollah, and Yoon Henry. And thank you to our super base members, Shadow Dow, Devin Dekron, Contranock, Red Z, Aziz Deglee, Pim Tool, Joseph Miller, Zach Orange, Peef Rimgar, Wyatt P, Seth M, Mr. Shonk, Name 345, Garrison Painter, Justin R, Ardo, The Yellow Shirted Kid, Sean S, 8 Monkey, and Borovkovi Florianic 3000. And thank you to our base certified members Bumbleat762, Crowbon, Joker Gaming, Nathan Quinn, Matthew M, Duop Diggy, Blom Green, Tom, Matthew Armstrong, Thomas Lehman, Rezu Jordan, Arcturus51, Worm, Serbian Sicko 92, Terry, Turkey Dog, Easy Joe, Levy Velasco, Crow Eater 1836, Filler, Hilday, Joe Billy, Crocodilus, Wes, Snidler, Ka Ghosted, Clan of One, Luca Bro, Alana K, Sweaty Jorts, Kitsy, Angry Mouse, username here, Caro the Longshoreman, Alabaman Historian, Jacani Cash, Caleb DeGroot, Defeating a Sandwich 7973, Jack J, Minister Malang, and Adam N. And I will see you guys a little later. Peace.